Hello, universe. I am the adorable Inspire, and today we are exporting a CC3 character, and we're going to make some quick Visemes for her because everybody's confused about Visemes and CC3 versus Blender. So we're going to go through the whole workflow, and we're going to stop at the stage where the Visemes are completed in Blender. So let's get to it. This is Magenta 1. She's adorable and cute and a little sexy, and I love her. And we are exporting her into Blender. But you're going to notice one problem right off the bat, and that is that she needs to be in a T-pose. So let's do that. We go into All, Animation, Motion Plus, T-pose for the base T-pose, and that is the only reliable T-pose that we need to worry about because the other T-pose puts her legs together a little too much, and that is not correct. So we go into FBX or export, FBX, clothed character, here we are, and we want to do the custom export for Blender. We want to also, hang on, click on your gear. First things first, make sure Z is up. We want all of these options. So, if you go through and blah, 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 do your thing, just make sure that all of these options are the correct ones. We want rigid mesh. We want rename invalid bone names. We want rename duplicate bones. We want reset self, well actually no, let's not do reset self-elimination. We want mouth open as morph. We want export as JSON because we will need that when we do go from Blender to Unity later. Zero motion root or break my animations, please. Don't do that one. And same for sync root hidden hip motion, don't do that one. We want to use T-pose as the bind pose. We want to use a Unity texture. We want UDIM and we want vertex color. Vertex color is actually important in Unity, but not Blender. All right, confused yet? Just go through, screenshot the options that you need. Oh, and make sure to use a Unity texture preset. Super important. So I exported her once, but she was in the wrong position and we had to reshoot the entire video. So we're just going to replace that. Oh, and embedded textures. Don't forget to not embed your textures. There. Cha-cha. My computer's a toaster. Or a potato. Or it's a potato that tastes like a toaster. Anyway, it's very slow is what I'm saying. Alright, so now we're exported and we're going to open her up in Blender. So I like to use Blender 2.936. The version of Blender is fine if you're using 2.83. That is workable. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to assume that you know what the N button does. Click N inside your workspace in Blender, and it opens up this fun side menu. I'm also going to assume that you know how to use it by clicking on these tabs. So the one we want first and foremost is the Cats plugin. You get the Cats plugin by going into Edit, Preferences, and then you hit the install, and then you find wherever it is in your file system. I'm putting a link to the Cats plugin in the description for this video. But Cats plugin has a ton of code written by a lot of people. And sometimes clicking this little button right here to enable it, sometimes it takes a few times to do it. So just fair warning, that's why you want to use the more recent version of Blender, but you don't want to use the current version of Blender, because you want to give the geniuses who make the cats plugin, who I love and adore. You want to give them some room to work. So here we are, and we've got our cats plugin, and we're going to keep that open. We're going to import our model, and she is magenta 1. Base model, that's fine. And let's import our pretty. You excited? I'm excited. All right, so now we have our pretty. All right, now first thing, since we're explicitly not using this thing, do not use the CC3 importer unless Blender is your final destination. If you are planning on exporting to Unity, just import a straight FBX and we'll take care of the rendering in Unity. But there is one thing that you want to do to your model, because having her stare at you with these blank eyes, that is gross, and we need to fix it. Here, let's just go in here. We're going to go into our shading, and the problem that we're having is that our corneas are not quite right. So we want to go through and click on Material Properties, and that gives us all the good stuff. Now, you would think Alpha Blend is the correct thing for doing that, but it is definitely not. So you select STD Cornea right, and then STD Cornea left, Alpha Clip, and that gives us our eyes back, which we need because eyes are important. You need them to see, and you're not going to see through them if the space of the cornea is overwrapping the whole thing and making you look like a zombie. So there we are. Now our model looks at least human. And one check to see if we're in T-pose. We're in T-pose. We could still use some weight painting, but whatever. Oh, wait, no. You know what? Let's fix the code too. This isn't really important. But we should probably make the code opaque, because codes are opaque. All right, that makes it way less confusing. Such a cute model. Look at her ponim. It's confusing because the terminology for what we're doing is different everywhere you go. In Blender, they're called shape keys. In Unity, they're called blend shapes. And Maya likes to call them morphs. CC3 uses the morph and the blend shape terminology, which is extremely confusing, as I'm sure you're aware. But for the purposes of Blender, they're called shape keys, and this is where we're going to make our shape keys for our Visemes. First thing we want to do is make sure that our mouth opens. Hugely important. Yay, our mouth opens. So, under cats. Oops, hang on. I've been in the wrong thing this whole time. Alright, so here we are in cats, and we want the Viseme tab in cats. The mesh is CC base body, and we do not have any of the shape keys that we need. So, the reason why I opened your mouth is that we are going to make some. Now, one note about the use of Visemes is that you want to make sure that when you make your Visemes, that your character isn't too mumbly. Just the way the software seems to work, if your Visemes are not expressive enough, your character will just sit there and her lips won't move very much. So the solution to that is to make very expressive Visemes. And now that we have our mouth open, we do new key from mix, and we're going to call it underscore AA. Underscore AA. And as you can see, that changes inside your Viseme editor, inside cats. All right, so now that we have our A, the next one to create is Oh. So we're going to go back to mouth merge open. Maybe just close it a little bit. And I like to use the legacy blend shapes for this because they're better. There we go. Oh, that's our tight O blend shape. But now we realize our mouth is open just a little too much. There we go. There is our O. New shape key from mix. Underscore OH. And we want to make sure that that pops up there. Cool. One more to go. Let's undo that one. And for this one, we want to make sure that the mouth is closed, well, mostly closed. CH, we close the mouth almost completely. We want your top teeth and bottom teeth to not quite touch each other. And for that one, we use lip open. New shape from mix, and that gives us underscore CH. Sweet. All right, so that gives us AA, CH, and OH. And those are the three core blend shapes that we need to make our Visemes. Now we click on Create Visemes. And we're going to pin right there. And now we go through and look at our handiwork to see what has happened. And that's all of them. If you are using a program in Unity or wherever you're going from here that requires a specific naming convention on the blend, on these shape keys, blend shapes, whatever, the intention of CATS is to make VR chat models easier. So these are prefixed with VRC. You might actually want to just go through and rename these. If you're going through to do a VRM-based solution where you're VTubing with VC Face or whatever, the names of these blend shapes are inconsequential because they will be covered by your presets in your blend shape proxy. So you don't have to worry about those. I'm going to do a video on that too at some point in the future. With this particular plugin, the naming convention is a small price to pay for something that's actually pretty awesome. That's it, babies. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.